Dacă e gata, în primul rând, Gabi Vârsan, dacă e gata cu amădeată și domnul Alexandru Mironov, eu decât să-l salut și o să spun câteva cuvinte la început. O să dau lumină și pe public, da? Gata?
Michael, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Wonderful. Welcome to ATLANTYKRON. Maybe everyone can give a welcome to ATLANTYKRON.
Welcome to ATLANTYKRON.
We've got about 418 people out here who've been anxiously waiting to learn about your work, about Leonardo da Vinci. And so thank you for being with us virtually all the way from New Mexico in the USA.
My pleasure.
So, hello New Mexico, Sorin Depanovic speaking. Michael,
Hi, sir.
how is the weather there?
It's beautiful. Fantastic. How about over there?
We survive after almost 40 degrees. How is there? Celsius first. How is there in New Mexico? I know it's hot in Romania. You still online with us?
Yes, you're fading in and out a little bit vocally, but I can see images of everyone, and I see a big light in the middle.
This is good.
I see somebody waving over there. Hello.
Can you imagine that 480 people listen to your DVD? We all now know how to think like Leonardo da Vinci. So, my name is Alexandru Mironov, I'm a writer in Romania. So, let me ask you some questions. Are you sure that every one of us could become Leonardo da Vinci in the very near future? All of us.
Well, that is the idea, that every single person, every one of us is born with the potential to think like all of the greatest geniuses who ever lived. And I chose Leonardo, he's my favorite. When I was a child, I had two heroes. One was Superman, and the other was Leonardo da Vinci. But I found out that Superman was only a comic book character. But the good news is Leonardo was real. And the more I learned about him, the more amazing he seemed to be.
It is a pity that Leonardo has missed his century. He should have been born maybe 300-400 years later, shouldn't he?
Well, he lives, the great thing about Leonardo is he represents all of the human potential that we are born with. And by studying Leonardo's life and his work, and especially by studying the principles for thinking like Leonardo, we can all develop our ability to be more creative, to learn faster, and to live a happier life.
It was very interesting what you did, to take the 6 parameters. Arte scienza is very typical for Leonardo da Vinci, and that it doesn't happen to everybody.
Well, you're right. This is, unfortunately, many of us just develop one or the other of those two modalities, known to use the intuition and our creative mind, and to connect those two parts of the mind. And as you suggested, Leonardo da Vinci is probably the greatest role model in all of human history for achieving that balance.
Michael, think about this wonderful world we live in. We are here on a very small island in the middle of the Danube. We have a big screen, you are on a big screen, and 480 people, young people are looking at you. They are all waving to you. And there are only, the moon is somewhere behind us. The Danube, which is the biggest river of Europe, is passing nearby. And we speak to each other. We can transfer knowledge, we can transfer, words from such a great distance.
Well, this is the principle that Leonardo referred to as connessione. connessione. Everything connects to everything else. And it's truly miraculous that we can connect to each other and have this conversation. 500 years ago, Leonardo predicted that someday humanity would be able to communicate in this fashion. He also used connessione as a means for guiding us to think about how one discipline connects to another. And I know that you have such a marvelous curriculum that everyone is studying so many different subjects. And what Leonardo encourages is that we explore, we learn in as many different areas as we can, and not just intellectual, but also artistic, musical, and the physical side. I see that your curriculum has a wonderful mind and body program, including study of Qigong, which is something that I'm very passionate about studying and teaching myself. So it seems that everyone is getting together and learning how to become a Renaissance man or woman, just like Leonardo da Vinci.
Let me just give you an example about comunicazione during Leonardo time. It seems that the Vatican had sent a priest to China to just search if it is possible to put the Christianity over there. Our man was there. He tackled the people around. He wrote a letter to the Pope. Yes, we can. And the letter started to go to Europe, and it went there. And the Pope wrote a letter back. And it took 36 years between the first letter and the answer. That was Leonardo's time, comunicazione. There was not the same Pope, there was not the same emperor in China. Things have changed. It was during Leonardo da Vinci's time. It's one wonderful example. I always give it to my students.
Well, we did put it in as the 7 principles, but I think patience is probably another important one too, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Michael, we thank you, all of us. It was wonderful. We shall take whatever you have already sent to us, and I hope to have your books translated here.
Yeah, I think
Fantastic.
Yeah.
One practical thing is I hope everyone got the mind map brochure that I sent.
We did. Hither, our friend Hither gave to each one of us such a map. So I have my grand...
what I hope everyone will do is make a mind map of everything you're learning in this wonderful adventure so that you can think more like Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir. It was quite a pleasure.
Yeah, before Mike.
It's the middle of the night here in Romania. You are still behind, but you're going far. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much.
Avem întrebări pentru Michael? Avem întrebări din public? Vrea cineva să întrebe? Vrei? Michael?
Yes.
Okay, we have additional question for you.
Hi Michael, I'm a big fan of mind mapping, and I was preparing today to present a mind map that we did today during the morning session. I can show it on the other iPad that we have here. My question for you is, are you a paper mind mapping fan, or are you more of a computer mind mapping fan?
A very important question. I believe you need pen and paper, because when you make your own mind map, you engage your brain in a much deeper, more profound way. I believe that the computer mind map is very useful for exchanging your